Yo, what's good, y'all? I gotta be straight up honest with y'all. I got some spunk in me today. I don't know what it is. I'm super excited to talk to y'all, and we'll get into it in a second. But yeah, I'm just super excited to get on the microphone and talk that shit. So listen, check it out. You are listening to Behind the Baller podcast. This is episode 9. I am your host, Ben Baller, also known by my government name, Ben Yang. I am London Yang's father. London Asher Yang. That is my firstborn son's name. London, happy birthday, baby boy. I hope one day you listen to this, maybe 6-7 years from now, when you kind of understand what's going on in the world and know that I love you so much and what we've gone through and all just the tribulations you've had and just the struggles with your health and everything. And man, it's just crazy. We're going to get into that in a second. In today's episode, we are going to talk about, obviously, London Yang. Kobe Bryant, can't believe he's gone. No COVID talk. Rose McGowan, who the fuck hurt that bitch? Ice Cube starting to get a little too crazy. Trial and error. Man, titles don't mean that much. The Lakers are starting to kind of come back. Obviously, a little bit about the hobby. Selling Sunset. Finally started watching that show. The new Batman trailer. Took the Senna to Malibu. And, just more shit talking. We got fan questions. Yo, man, Mouse, let's get into this motherfucking show. So, 8 years ago today, my firstborn son, London Asher Yang, was born. I'll never forget, we were at Hollywood Presbyterian Hospital right there in Hollywood. London was born in Hollywood. It's a Korean-owned hospital, which is kind of crazy, whatever, but it just happened to be that way. And, I was nervous. I was 39 years old, 39 and a half, and I was like, man, about to have a son, my firstborn. I can't wait. It was just a crazy ass fucking night. And I'll never forget the doctor, the OBGYN that delivered the baby. He actually delivered all 3 of my kids. His name is Dr. Medrano. He pulled up in a motherfucking Harley Davidson. I was like, yo, this motherfucker's crazy. And Nicolette got induced. And I was kind of hyped because I was like, yo, man, today's Kobe's birthday. You know what I'm saying? And I'd love for London to share the same birthday as Kobe. And sure enough, it's starting to get late, and right around like 11:45 or so, Nicolette started getting contractions and everything else. And then, we didn't know, most people go into labor for hours and hours and whatever. And finally, Nicolette was like, shit, man, her water broke. And I remember my mom and my father-in-law going to watch a movie in the lobby or in like the waiting room. And they left just for a little bit. They just barely figured out what movie they're going to watch and everything. And next thing you know, London pops out. The only problem is 7 minutes had passed, and it was super fast. Like Nick was in labor for like fucking 10 minutes. And London popped out. And I never cried like that in my life. Not at no funeral, not at nothing, not at anything I could think of in my life have I ever cried like that. In fact, I cried like that with all 3 kids. But we're going to talk about London right now. And if you guys know, around 15 months into London's life, we discovered that he had asthma. We didn't know what was going on. Just, he liked to walk around. He liked to talk his shit. He liked to babble a lot and everything else. And then we realized that we didn't even know, but he had severe allergies. The allergies were so severe that, and it's hereditary. It sucks. It runs in my family. My nephews had really bad allergies and stuff. And they end up at the ER and things. And not that you want to beat that and compete with that. And me and my brother are very competitive, but it was like, this is like the thing I did not want to win. And one day I'm in New York City, and me and Nicholas just went through a snowstorm. Like, we were lucky to land. We're the only plane that landed. Everything's canceled. And Nicolette's mom hits us up and says, hey man, watch this video. And it shows London just kind of laying in the corner. He's not doing shit. He's just like kind of whimpering almost. And I was like, yo, man, you got to take him to the ER. And so he took him to the ER or whatever, and they said, oh, there's nothing we could really do. I don't know what the fuck was going on. But finally, I was like, no, you need to go back. Like, so they go back, take him, come to find out he's having a hard time breathing. His saturation level is really low, and we didn't really know what to do. We thought he had an asthma attack or something. And when I get back, he's starting to have these attacks every few weeks. We don't know what's going on. Come to find out, he's allergic to a dog. Nicolette has 4 dogs, and there was just all kinds of issues that were coming up, and it would just get worse and worse. And to this day, in the last year, I think London's been at the hospital once, but for a good 6 years of his life, London probably spent 200 nights in the ER, 2 separate times in ICU. One time when he was in ICU, he went from ICU to sudden death watch. And it's funny because we're not talking about COVID on this episode really, but when you see these people with their saturation, the oxygen levels, and his shit would start tripping. If you're below 95 and you're a kid, an adult or kid, anybody, but a kid should, he should be at like 96, 97, not bad. He should be 98, 99, 100 all day long. And London would get down to like 88, 89, and doctors, respiratory therapists that would, that help us out, the therapist would be like, yo, man, I don't really, we don't really see these numbers like at this low, especially with the kid. He's the first. And it would get low. And so when you see COVID, after, when you're like a 92, 90, 91, they're like, hey, you should call the ER. You should call 911. You should call a hospital. And call the ambulance, boom, depending on your conditions. That's bad. So when you're talking about COVID and you see motherfuckers have 50, 30, there's people who've told me, doctors told me they've seen a 0. Like, you're dead at 70. At 80, you're dead. So see 50 and see to have a ventilator and all this shit that's going on. Anyways, man, can't even imagine the amount of hospital visits and everything else. And we just couldn't. We were like, yeah, but we got to get this shit fixed, and starting to see different allergists, and finally, we found a good one. And we found somebody who can cure him of his peanut allergies, which could kill him. He's anaphylactic, so he started treatment, and then fucking COVID hit. So we got to reset that whole fucking thing. But anyways, those are just the crazy parts of his life. For London's first birthday, rented out the entire penthouse of Mr. C Hotel where I had Kaya's first birthday. We went big, like super big. It's so funny because we had gone so big. It's funny. That dude, Manny Coachman, who I haven't figured out exactly if he's 100% fraud. He just creeps me out. And he completely bit the entire theme of what we did. And I'm sure people saw it, whatever, boom. But we did something I've never, ever thought about doing, a lot of things. But it was my firstborn son. I bought him all the Gucci outfits and all that shit. And then you realize, all right, this is stupid as fuck. It's not about wasting money or anything, or if you got it. It's just like, I do a lot of things that are unnecessary in life, but you realize like, okay, on your first kid, you're like, oh shit. Then you start to figure out the second. If you have a third, you really understand what the fuck is going on. And don't get me wrong, he stunted. In London, went to fucking Philippines. He went to Cabo, Hawaii. He flew with us. Had a passport early. He went to Cabo a few times, and he experienced Philippines on some God level shit and everything. And he's our firstborn son. He's a kuya. He's a hyung and a oppa, and he's just incredibly brilliant kid, extremely smart. My son is extremely tall for his age. He's the average height of a 10-year-old, and he just had very late developments, and especially social cues and things like that. So, we had gone through a lot of struggles outside of, because of his health issues, and doctors wouldn't believe us. We're like, hey man, he had so many, you tell somebody the kid goes to hospital like, 10 times, 20 times, all right, cool. You tell him to go 100, like, okay, come on. No, he's been admitted over 100 times. And this is like, by the time he's 4 or 5, and then they check his, they see his hospital records, and like, holy, what the fuck? And there's so many different random hours of the days, the pediatrics would be changed all the time. And we would just see different people. So we'd have to tell the story all the time. With that said, London didn't really have a lot of friends. And, my brother-in-law's friends have kids, and we have other friends who have kids, but just, he was getting sick so much, we didn't really want to have him around anybody. So for the first 4 years of his life, London probably came into contact with less than 15 children in his life, period. Like, these are the times where he should be out there having fucking fun with everyone. Besides his brother, he didn't really see anybody. So, he had, it was late. Ryder had no issues. Ryder's a social butterfly. He's crazy. He spits, he's speaking early and everything. And London didn't start talking till really late, like really, really late. So, there's just been a lot of things going on, and we've been dealing with that. But it is a glorious day. London is back on his gangster shit. He is a Roblox fiend. He is just, again, very smart. He's very sensitive. He's a perfectionist. And there's a lot of things I see in me that I see in him. And thank God for my wife's good looks, because that's why London, Ryder, and Kai are so good looking. I don't know if they say Kai looks like me, but I'm starting to see her like change, because baby faces change. When you ever have your first kid, you'll realize, like, when you kind of see the kid's like face, you really see, okay, well, 5 months, 6 months, 10 months, 1 year, 2 year, 3, and even at 4 or 5, the face changes like completely. Like, okay, look, but I mean, they really change. So just know that. Even though I knew Kai looked like me, I didn't want her to look like me. That's like the last thing I want her to look like. She's becoming so much cuter and everything. But back to London, man, it's gonna be great. I got him a shit ton of Roblox. I got London an iPad for himself, and we got a bunch of stuff, man. We got a bunch of like jungle gym things and shit, and we're gonna take off out of town and celebrate for like 4 days down south. And yeah, man. But again, 8/24 ended up being a great thing, because 24 kind of significant. It was my freshman football number. Obviously 42 is my shit, but because Kobe was 8 and 24, it's kind of dope. You know what I'm saying? And today is the national holiday. Oh, I'm sorry, the holiday in Orange County recognized for Kobe Day. And y'all already know. I mean, I spoke about Kobe. That was one of the first. In fact, that was the first emergency podcast episode that I did. Just randomly, I will think about Kobe, and I'll just think like, damn, man, this is fucking crazy. I cannot believe he's fucking dead. And you think about it, like, of all fucking things, a freak accident, being in a helicopter or something. It's just like, him going on the way to his daughter's game, and just, I don't know, man, this shit is crazy. With that said, my Kobe chain, which has the Kobe logo and then the 8 on the other side, because, that's how I knew him and everything else. And, I'm going to, it's got baguettes. I mean, it's a small chain. It's not super small. So obviously, it's a good size. It's not brolic in any which way, but it's very heavy because it's platinum. It's got all VVS baguettes on it. It's literally, for a small piece, this thing is a one-of-a-kind piece. I'm actually going to put it up for auction, I think. I might put it on the website. I don't know yet. But I'm going to put it up for auction, and I'm going to donate whatever I can from to the Mamba Academy. And yeah, man, rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. Happy birthday. Happy belated birthday. Happy birthday. And speaking of my website, I put up some toys this weekend. I put up like a Cos joint for lower than StockX and lower than all the eBay final prices and everything else, and even the listing prices. I put up like 6 or 7 Bear Bricks. I put some other action figure toys and everything. And I'm going to start putting up a lot of smaller Cos items. The only thing is, these smaller Cos items that I have, I ain't going to lie to you, they're expensive. I ain't talking about open editions. I'm talking about, OG shit, 06, 07, the newest thing being like 2013 or 14. I'm going to try to figure out the open edition shit, is just because now the man cave, I just want to clean it up a little bit. I have way too much shit in there. And I just was thinking I got way too much champagne. It's just, I need to start giving some things away. I'm going to start doing more sale items from my closet and things like that. And I just want the less is more. Bear Brick Wall is going to stay for as long as I can for right now. But now into something really terrible, man. This is just crazy, man. Yesterday, police in Kenosha, Wisconsin, they shot an unarmed black man by the name of Jacob Blake. They shot this man 9 times in the back. And the crazy thing is, I heard he died last night, but they're saying, I don't know what the update is, but some people said he was in ICU, then he was saying he was in surgery and everything else, but then they said he'd end up dying. My issue is, look at beyond fuck the police and fuck the Kenosha police. This guy is a father. He had 3 kids in the car. These kids saw the police shoot their dad on my son's birthday. I'm telling you guys, I have goosebumps from my ankles to my fingertips. I never had goosebumps like this before. Like, you, man, pray for this man, Jacob Blake. Jacob Blake is the black man's name, was a father who is from Kenosha, Wisconsin, and was shot. And I don't know if he's dead, but rest in peace if he is. But if he makes it, I mean, the video is it fucked me up. This is beyond racism and white supremacy and all this crazy ass shit. Again, man, his 3 sons were in the car when he just turned his back on these. I mean, fuck, he was breaking up a fight. From what I heard, like, this is the craziest shit. I mean, he was shot in broad daylight. I don't know, man. Like, rioting ain't enough. I mean, you know what? Again, we really in crazy times, man. And I mean, I don't know. Election year and all that shit. This is just fucking crazy. So we'll see what happens. But man, justice for fucking Jacob Blake is just fucking terrible. Fucking election year shit. It's just some weird shit. Politics talk is getting crazy. This shit is getting nuts. Like, I look around my neighborhood and thank God that I only see like Biden signs and like Black Lives Matters and things like that. I don't know what I would do if I saw Trump signs around my neighborhood and all this shit that's going on in Beverly Hills. I can't believe it is actually going down in my hood. Like, this is crazy. Like, motherfucking people fighting right there on Little Santa Monica Boulevard. Like, what the fuck is going on? I'm sorry, not on main Santa Monica Boulevard, which is fucking nuts. And like right there by Beverly, Cannon, Rodeo, it's like, really, motherfuckers? This shit is crazy. But, you know, Ice Cube is doing a lot of talking lately, right? And understand, I've said this on many different platforms on my blog when I used to blog. Ice Cube is somebody that I idolized for a very long time in my life. When I worked at Priority, I was not, even when I was a VP, I still wasn't like at a level where I could just speak with him and converse with him freely. Me and Master P, we talked a lot, you know? And Cube, totally different. Now, the crazy part is me and Cube's son are cool. And, you know, his son, I mean, obviously a different world that we live in now. And, you know, I got some clout and, you know, have a certain different, I obviously have a way different status in life. And another thing too is it doesn't matter who the fuck you are. You could be fucking, you know, LeBron, Shaquille. It don't matter who the fuck you are. It could be, I'm trying to think of Cristiano Ronaldo, fucking Lewis Hamilton. It don't matter who the fuck you are. I'm on nobody's dick. I don't give a fuck. I've worked just as hard as anybody else. I might not have had the exact talent as they did, but when it came to jewelry making and craftsmanship, I am the motherfucking, you know, Michael Jordan, Kobe of all that. But that's beyond the point, you know, because I wear a lot of different hats. What I'm getting at is no man, no grown man should be on any other man's dick. You could respect somebody and admire, you know, somebody for what they got and what they've done and their talents, but never for what someone has done as far as materialistic possessions and things like that. That's just silly. But going on, Ice Cube was always in my top 3 greatest lyricists of all time. And this is going back from, you know, 86, 87, early NWA days until, you know, I'd say about 94. After 94 or so, he was still rapping his ass off, but like it just wasn't as, you know, and it was good. It was cool. But anyways, going back, being a huge Ice Cube fan, a lot of the shit that he's talking about right now, and it's of course Black Lives Matter, is pro-black, and you know, he's always been pro-black, and there's been issues with, you know, when he was making songs called Black Korea. Now I get it. Trust me, I do. I addressed it with Korean people, you know what I mean? I was like, yo, you motherfuckers are racist, the way you run the liquor stores and everything else. And yes, there's motherfuckers who steal and everything else, boom. But it's like, look, man, look where the fuck you guys are at. It's like, could you imagine being in a place where motherfuckers don't have any money and this and then you're in a low income area and you're selling liquor and selling fucked up shit? I mean, I understand everything about it. Now, going on, Cube is talking about, all right, so what do we get as black people? I can't speak for black people at all whatsoever, and it's not about that at all. He's saying, what do we get? What do we get? You know, you're talking about, yeah, anyone but Trump. Okay, fine, fuck. That's going to be done in the first few minutes. Motherfucker, no, it's not. Cube, no, it's not. O'Shea, it's not. Bro, Trump's numbers are going back up. It's going to be a battle. It's going to be a scrap. It's going to be, there's all kinds of crazy shit going on. There's all kinds of corruption. You couldn't even, no one could fucking pick this. On a guarantee, no way. If someone's life depended on it, something that really meant something to somebody, you could not choose the outcome in the situation. I still think Biden will prevail, but again, I don't know. You know, Trump ain't trying to get out of that White House. You know, he's scared to go to jail. It's true. You know, people are delusional. Again, I have no favoritism towards Democrats or to Republicans. If anything, I would be more Republican, like I said, but my actions would be more of a Democrat in certain ways. But, I understand both sides. But with Cube, to say, okay, well, fuck that, we don't give a fuck. He's got a problem with Biden and whatever. And it's like, look, bro, you're telling people, you're giving them the split decision thing. And that split vote is what's going to fuck Biden's chances up. And you're like, you think it's just, all right, well, what do we get? We need to know, what are we going to get before they value your vote? No, hold on, bro. And I get it, okay? And I understand, because I don't represent the black people, but I do also have to understand what Trump has done to this country. We have never been this fucked up socially, economically, every which way. And that doesn't even go just for black, it goes for Asian, Latino, anything. It goes for fucking white people. There's never been so much fucking separation ever in all my life of growing up, since I was a kid and everything else. Some things be like, oh, you could sweep it under the rug. And again, I get it. There's some things that need to come to light and be addressed, and I get that too. But right now, the anger, the unrest, the all types of shit going on, Cube, man, you tripping right now, bro. You're fucking, and homie, no offense. When people come at me like, hey, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? I do what I can. Bro, Cube, you're worth $300 million, bro. You're worth $300 million. Bro, you have been wealthy since 94, 95. You were out of your bullshit with NWA and everybody. All that bullshit had left you, and you were already making money at 88. Yes, you got fucked over a couple times, whatever. Come 95, bro, you were already paid. Like, you never saw. And again, bro, that's 25 years. And I get, look, you've seen your people get fucked over here and there, and I understand that. But it's great to be the voice and be militant and everything, right? But bro, you have single-handedly have enough wealth by yourself to do way more than telling people that, all right, well, find out what they're going to do for us first. You know what I'm saying? Make them earn your vote. And it's like, hold on, bro. You don't like Trump, right? And you hate Trump, and you don't like Biden. And again, the split vote is where y'all miss me with this shit, okay? But what I got to ask people is, would you rather lose your hair? Okay, and you go bald, or you go like, you got the Mr. Burns haircut, okay? Or would you rather lose your legs? That's where we are with this, okay? With Biden, you're gonna lose your hair, all right? With Trump, you're gonna lose your legs. Now, of course, you'd rather not lose anything, but what's more important to you? Does that make sense to you guys? And that's straight up truth. Now, Rose McGowan, who I don't know, and Alyssa Milano got into a beef, heated fucking argument about Rose. He's like, what has Democrats done for us? Blah, blah, whatever. And Alyssa tried to pull out some heat, whatever. They did a show together. I actually, fuck. I can't believe I'm about to Forrest Gump myself and something I didn't really want to get into. You know what? I could hear Jordan's voice. Fuck it, just say it. I had a crush on Alyssa Milano for a long time. When she was on the TV show, Who's the Boss and all that, I had a crush on Alyssa, like you have no idea. And then she became full-blown hot, like from 15, 16. She was cute as hell in her early teens and everything else, whatever. We're the same age. She might be a few months older than me. When I was like 97. So I was 24. I went on a date with Alyssa. And then I went on a date with her roommate. Very weird things, I know, whatever. Anyways, going on. I know Alyssa Milano. She's always been cool as fuck and everything, whatever. What does this got to do with anything? It's just more about this Trump or Democrat shit and everything. And for Rose McGowan to say the same shit that Cube is saying in a different way. And she's like, look, what have Democrats ever done? Blah, blah. This is fucking karma for all the bullshit. Biden's a rapist, all this other stuff, boom. And that's why we got Trump, because of this. Okay, you stupid ass, dumbass bitch. So because Democrats fucked up, they deserve to have Trump. So that means now, because of all this shit, you got to sit and ever since the Weinstein thing, and again, I can't ever imagine being raped and being anything else. What I can say is there's a lot of women out there who had it way worse than you. How do you know? Blah, blah, whatever. Blah. Look, I get it. Some people, if you throw a fucking 10-pound fucking barbell at them or a 10-pound fucking little weight plate at them, most people be like, oh no, that don't feel like shit. And then one person might be like, oh my God, that hurt me so bad. She's that girl. You know what I'm saying? And like, there's definitely people that Harvey terrorized. And, I told you, I see dude at parties. I knew about dude, he was a piece of shit. Everyone knew in Hollywood that he was a piece of shit. And ever since then, she's been, obviously fueling the whole fucking Me Too thing. The only thing is, of course, not everyone's going to be right and everyone's going to be, honest or whatever. And there's Me Too movements that have been, or claims and accusations that have been false. And, she's just gone on some whole other shit. Like, there's no point of return with her. She is going to die being just the fucking like this, jeez, could you fucking imagine just being her friend? Like, I'm talking about someone who gets coffee with her and just imagine being her lover. You know what I'm saying? And just be like, fuck. Can you imagine just a fucking night? Let me see your phone. Where are you going? But just questioning shit all the time and everything. Just, man, at some point, you got to just sit back, take 3 deep breaths and be like, yo, fuck this. I'm not dealing with this shit. And again, whether you hear me rant on this is therapeutic for me. When I'm out and about, I don't really say as much. I really don't want, as much as I talk shit and everything, I'll back up any shit that I need to say. If I'm, someone comes to me and acts stupid, the old Ben comes out. But I really don't, just behave. I don't know, man. It would be fucking exhausting to be Ben Baller 24 hours a day. And it's just like, Rose, man, God damn, there's just so many I know women like her. And again, it's a lot of pain, but why not, don't tell me it's therapeutic for you to sit here and make crazy ass fucking tell people what to do with the platform you're on and be on this soapbox with that bullshit propaganda you're spitting. Why not try to go get help and try to get healed with other shit? Again, she just says the craziest shit. And like, no, there's no fucking Trump going to office and for bad and this is what you get. No, fuck all that. It's just fucking stupid, man. Kim Jong-un is saying he's in a coma. And I know a while back they said he was dead or he was fucking on his deathbed or some shit, or he died. I don't know what the fuck they said. And now he's signed the power over to his sister. Who fucking cares, man? And I'm South Korean, you know what I'm saying? My dad was fucking born in Pyongyang, North Korea. It was Korea. It wasn't even North Korea back then. My dad was friends with Kim Jong-un's fucking grandfather. My dad was friends with Kim Il-sung. And my dad knew Kim Jong-il. It wasn't like they weren't homies or nothing, but, that's some crazy shit. And like, I don't give a fuck. Like, dude, they need to fucking take over North Korea, reunify North and South, and take care of all the communism and the fucking poverty and everything over there, man. If you guys even knew how bad it is there, you guys don't get in 2020, 99% of the country of North Korea have never seen the internet, never seen a television before, except for, I'm talking about like, they only see propaganda. They don't know who Michael Jackson is. They don't know who Justin Bieber is. They don't know who Neymar is. They don't know nothing. They have never seen shit. Like, I can't explain to you. There's no fucking grocery store. There's no McDonald's in North Korea. This is a whole different level of, they're the last remaining radical communist country. And again, how would I know? Because my dad has been there fucking 50, 60 times, My biological father is obviously, on his way out. He's very old. I don't know the last time he went there. Me and my father don't really speak like that. But that country needs to be turned the fuck over. And one day I will get into it a little deeper and break down some of the shit that had happened and everything. I know I've spoke about it, but I'm talking about like, if you listen to that K-Pod episode that me and my sister did, then you'd kind of get a little more, you'd have a better idea of what was going on. But anyways, look, there was this kid that came up to me at this car meet, at his Cars and Coffee, and he was asking me, he's like, yo, man, do you know this? Do you know that? And he just asked me all these questions. I was like, hey, bro, like, I don't know why you think like I would have all these answers, bro. I just don't. These weren't even questions about cars or jewelry or baseball cards, or which I wouldn't even know. They're just, I know general business. And he just had questions that were like, I was like, bro, man, dog, I don't know. And he was like, well, then who does? And I was like, bro, I don't know. I don't know who does, and I don't know. So but I did say to him, and which I want to say to my listeners here, it's okay to not have all the answers. Even if you're a father, I know you want to, and you want to, to lead your children in the right direction. When it comes to the important part, I'm sure between right and wrong, morals, loyalty, things like that, the basic stuff, love, I mean, until you get to relationships and dating and stuff, I mean, those I get, but to not have all the answers to whatever it may be, to a scenario, crazy situation, how to react to someone disrespectful, certain things. Look, man, not everyone is going to have an answer or the answers or the answer you want or whatever. That's why trial and error is the most fucking important thing in the world. You gotta have that. You gotta go try something out. And if that shit fails, you gotta go back to the drawing board and you gotta keep going at it until you fucking find. Or you can choose to walk away, depending on how bad you want it would determine how bad or how soon you'd walk away, how long you withstand it. And it just depends. Some people do want things really, really badly. And some of those people aren't going to get what they want. And at the same time, not getting what you want could sometimes be a wonderful stroke of luck. I just want to tell you guys that not everyone is going to fucking have the answers. I want to say something real quick before we get into the fan questions. Titles at companies. Like, oh, I'm the director of fucking development and this, and I'm the new age. This. Listen, all that shit is horse shit. Sorry. To get motherfuckers in line, try to follow protocol. I'm the vice president of this. I'm the fucking president of this. You got 17 fucking vice presidents in a small company. It has like fucking 200 employees. Why the fuck you got 17 vice presidents? The fuck? Then you got the major company. I'm the VP of development. I'm the VP of this. I'm the VP of VPs. Like, man, look. I used to get caught up in it. It used to make me feel a lot better to have a title on a business card and everything else. And, especially when it's earned. And don't get me wrong, if that's an accomplishment to you and that's a milestone, cool. Just understand now that I own a lot of my companies, I have placed myself with either no title or I've even placed myself and said I'm the vice president of this or I'm the fucking director of marketing, whatever else, just to show people I don't really give a fuck. Because people walk in and be like, who's the boss? Be like, I don't know. I don't know who the boss is. Because usually when someone says some stupid shit like that, they want to talk to somebody about a proposal with some bullshit, or they think they're too fucking important or whatever. Look, man, you're going to know, or you should know, if you're in front of the right person. And if you don't, then, you obviously weren't supposed to be talking to that person anyways. But I don't get it, man. I just see these people ask me questions. Like some dude at the Cars and Coffee meet was like, yo, man, what do you do for a living? Because he had a Senna too. And he was the only other Senna but mine. And I was like, oh, I have a podcast. And he's like, really? He's like, you have a podcast? I was like, yeah. And I was going to sit there. This dude's an old ass white man. He wouldn't fucking know any fucking songs about Plain. He wouldn't know what Plain Jane was or anything. Or, maybe his sons and then might know some rappers. But I didn't want to have a conversation with dude. And really at the end of the day, like, who gives a fuck? And like, he was just asking, oh, so motherfucker, don't judge me. You know what I mean? Because I'm not fucking in fucking Brooks Brothers clothes or whatever the fuck you wear. I'm not wearing a fucking Tommy Bahamas Bermuda shorts and shit like that. Like, nah. To tell you the truth, man, if I didn't have any popularity, I don't know if motherfuckers would know if I had paper. Because I sometimes forget to wear my watch, so I don't always wear my earrings. You see me at a Laker game, you're going to think I have some paper, but you see me in a white tee, I might not have, I wear some shorts maybe 3-4 times in a row. No matter how many clothes I have in the closet, I don't fucking always get fresh all the time. I'm just random. So again, with the titles, everything, man, just do what is comfortable for you, man. Again, though, wash your ass, be decent and all that. Don't fucking not take care of yourself hygiene-wise. But sometimes I might just be comfortable. I didn't go anywhere. I didn't fart in these motherfucking sweats that many times. I could just wear these, boom. The only thing that's killing me, again, and I've said this several times, is not having a manicure and a pedicure and keeping my cuticles suitable. But anyways, look, let's get into these fan questions. I know you guys are tired of talking about this bullshit. Get into some fan questions, and then I got a lot of shit I got to tell you guys. So, yo, Miles, man, hit me up. Actually, you know what? Fuck Miles. Jordan, you take control for a second, man. Throw on one of them nice little Lakey beats. What up, Lakey? And let's get into these fan questions. Be right back, y'all. Yo, what's going on, y'all? You were listening to Behind the Baller podcast, and this is the weekend wrap-up. This is the part of the month, part of the show where we do fan questions. We used to do it every week. Then we did it like every couple weeks. And now I'm just doing it once a month because really it became too many of the same questions. Like, you know what I'm saying? Do you really have a fucking 2-inch penis? Of course, it's 2.7 inches, all that shit. Just dumbass questions. So we kept it to once a month because it makes it more special now to interact with the fans and everything else. Again, I really appreciate you guys leaving the 5-star reviews. But let's jump into it. Doug the Thug 88 writes, turning ashes into a diamond? ? Yo, Ben, my name is Doug Dixon from Northern VA. It's from who the fuck says Northern VA? You from Nova, bro. I'm a huge fan of the podcast. Congrats on 100 episodes. Such an incredible milestone. My question is, I've heard it's possible to turn remains into a diamond. My longtime girlfriend and I recently lost our dog, and I was curious if you had any advice. If I was in the market to getting his ashes turned into a diamond, do you personally have any experience in this process? Thanks so much for the consistency with these podcasts. Keep up the great work. # this is not your practice life. Doug, thank you for listening to this show. I'm going to keep this real easy for you. I have zero fucking idea. This is where Google might be your friend and Reddit might not be. And then from there, you would have to seek the next part of assistance where something looked pretty good, you know, on some of the advice, and then boom, seek out that person. I'm sorry, it's because I am a jeweler and I do deal with diamonds. I have actually heard, like loosely heard about something like that. I have zero idea, and I wish I could help you. I really do. Mr. Jordan Winter picks these questions out, and we had like 20 something, and he picked out like 10 or something, and I don't know why he picked out this one. No offense, Doug, but yeah, I have no fucking idea. I wouldn't know where to begin. But that'd be fucking cool. I hope you pick, a crazy oval or something different from a round, or or the basic princess and all that. Pick like a Marquise diamond or something, man. And rest in peace to your dog. Ron the Nomad writes, 2-in-1 combo. Hey Ben, just wanted to say I got my wife hooked onto your podcast, and now whenever you drop an episode, we listen to it together while we have dinner, and the night it drops. I did have 2 quick questions for you. Question 1, I do see you have the Daft Punk X Bear Brick collab on your wall of Bear Bricks. Do you like Daft Punk, or was it just to add to collection? Let me answer that first before I get into the second question. Yeah, I was a big fan of Daft Punk, even actually before Am was a Daft Punk fan. I don't know how big of a Daft Punk fan you are, but obviously DJ Am was a huge fan, and such a huge fan that Daft Punk kind of dedicated some shit to him, and they also sent us the original Daft Punk Kubricks before the Bear Bricks ever came out, which was actually an Asian thing that was based out of Hong Kong with this guy named TK, silly little thing. He had actually did those, but through the estate and through the actual Daft Punk. But yeah, when I forgot what nightclub it was, but on the marquee they put DJ AM one more time, because of Daft Punk. But yeah, I was always a fan of Daft Punk. I fuck with them, and was it Stardust? No, what the fuck was the goddamn company? I listened to a lot of old school house, and just that, not deep house, not techno, things like that. But that was definitely, a genre of music that I fuck with definitely heavily. And of course I fuck with Bear Bricks. So, I have every set of them. I just don't have the Kubricks anymore, which are worth crazy, crazy money. Okay, so question 2, my wife is a massive BTS fan. You put really in parentheses K-pop group. Motherfucker, come on, bro. If you know me and you follow me, come on, bro. I'm a good friend of G-Dragons, you know what I mean? And I've been around the K-pop thing for a while. Okay, so my wife is a massive BTS fan and wants to know if you knew of them, or have any interaction with them. Thanks again, big listener since day one. I've met everybody in BTS a few times. They invited me to the show at the Rose Bowl. Don't know why I didn't go. One of the dudes who runs the finance, he runs like a lot of the sales things for VVS and for a few of the major brands under the umbrella. This guy Jason, and his wife is a huge BTS fan. I was going to give her the tickets. Nobody else really that I meet really cares, so it's not really a big deal. But Ryder's teacher, his kindergarten teacher, was a big BTS fan too, so I was going to hook her up with some tickets and stuff. But yeah, a lot of the K-pop kids, for a while they were looking for sneakers. They were looking for they were all, it's the same shit. They were like, one point they were all Givenchy, Fear of God, Mike Amiri, things like that, Off-White, boom. And now it switches out, and all of them become, pretty big in fashion and stuff and whatever. And of course BTS too. I was gonna make a fucking chain for Namjoon, but I just don't know. I never really pursued it. But yeah, I know the dudes. I can't really say I'm a fan of their music. I don't really know much about the music, and I really don't care. It's great that they're repping Korea and all that stuff. And it's not my thing. Raka Movia writes, top notch. Ben Baller, been binge listening for about a month now. Your podcast plays in the AirPods throughout my entire workday. I admire your outlook on what it is to be a dad and taking care of your family. What's the best advice you can give me on how to find the balance between doing what makes you happy and doing what you love? Doing what makes you money and having time for your family. Always been struggling with that. Well, I don't know how old you are, but the younger you are, you're going to have to maybe do things that you don't necessarily love or do things that make you happy. You know, people have it fucked up. They think, oh, in your 20s, you should party and fuck around, blah, blah. You know, tell you the truth, I think you should fuck around in your teens and all the other shit. And by the time, you get to like 22, you should kind of stop fucking around. Now, I fucked around a lot here and there, but I'm saying I regret that. And I do. And I had legendary, most of my Forrest Gump stories are from those, that era, my 20s. But, that don't mean that you need to jump into a relationship, get married and everything else, even though I wish I started my life a little earlier with my family and things. But, okay, you need to find out what you're good at first, okay? Just because you love basketball doesn't mean you're going to maybe find a career in basketball and, whatever. And then again, unless you're fucking, an amazing journalist or even a journalist, unless you're like an amazing fucking, you're well-versed and you're like the next Stephen A. Smith or whatever, or you're playing professional sports, there might not be much money. And again, this is just an example. You might fucking love pottery making or whatever. I don't know. That don't necessarily mean you're going to make a lot of money. And now again, too, some people aren't, about making money. The only thing is, you just asked me what makes you money, right? And I think in your 20s, you should definitely try to save, because most kids these days don't save, and you don't know what the fuck. Everything is so goddamn unpredictable, and everything's so fickle. Everything changes, so fast. It's best to have, a nest egg, you know what I mean? And just to save. So now, when you get later in life, to your late 30s, your early 40s, you better start doing what makes you happy, I think. And, in your 40s, you better start doing things that you love. Now, if you're still stuck in the area where it's like, all right, well, I got no choice. I got to do this, this, and this. And, it makes me okay money. Hey, man, a little bit of time in the day, this is where you sacrifice your sleep. You're working a job, 40, 50 hours a week. And then let's say you have a kid and you have a wife or somebody, you got to come home. You try to have your discussion, you talk about your day, find out what's up with her day, whether or not, you're up to it. I mean, the social interaction is important, and communication is important, and spending time with your kid. And if you don't have any kids, then cool, but, trying to have that communication. And then, when you're going to go to sleep and if you're exhausted, try to not necessarily rack your mind. I mean, if rest makes you feel better, cool. But with me, man, I try to figure out, all right, well, how am I going to change this? How am I going to better my day tomorrow? How can I be better today than I was yesterday? How can I be better tomorrow than I was today? How can I be a better man, a better person, a better at what I do next week than I was this week? And that's all you got to do is look for forward progress. I do think in some ways, when you do figure out those things and you figure out a life hack or you figure out a job hack or a career hack, and I'm just using it as a slang, not necessarily hack, but you figure out a way to like progress. That should make you happy, And again, when you have money, it's not everything, but what it does is it provides convenience. And when you have convenience, that should provide a little less stress and a little more happiness. Again, I had said, I think 2 episodes ago, people thinking I'm mad and here and there. I haven't been mad in a long time. I'm actually not mad. I have a backwards sense of, I have backwards sense. Like I might punch somebody in the mouth the same day I win a lottery. Like I said, I might scream at somebody after something great had happened. It's not that I'm mad or anything else. It's just how, my brain is programmed incorrectly, I think. Maybe it's correctly. I know it's incorrect. Something's wrong with me for sure. But again, man, being happy is priceless. There is nothing that can defeat that. And as I'd said before, I feel like if I had stayed in Koreatown and I worked, if all I knew was that, I was in a very simple life and I was happy, I didn't have too many complicated things going on in my life. I even thought yesterday at dinner, I was like, damn, you know what? I used to eat at this little Japanese restaurant in Glendale, California, and it was just like whatever. It was just, it was just edible, cool food, but it was the company and everything was cool, and life was so much simpler and things were easy. I didn't get stopped to ask nothing. It was just really just chill. I made my jewelry and I just kind of did my thing. And, I miss that. It's too late for all that now. I am where I am. And my strategy right now is to figure out how to walk away from all this. And I don't give a fuck about likes. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. I don't care if you guys like me or not. Of course, I love having a popular podcast and the show's doing well and everything. But it's not to where I'm going to ask anybody for a favor, beg anybody for anything and become thirsty or something like that. I work so hard that I don't need to do something like that. I shouldn't have to, especially when you did put in the work. If I have to prove myself every single fucking day all over again, I'm in the wrong place. Like, fuck that. I'm not trying to become a billionaire. I'm not trying to be the coolest in this. It's just, but again, going back, balance is important. You never want to be 70-30 in anything. You never want to be 60-40. Actually, 60-40 is not bad. I'm not going to lie to you. Even 70-30, if that's what happens, boom. It's when motherfuckers are 85-15, 99-1. But again, try to figure out, are you making the most money that you can be making? Okay. Now, what do you got to sacrifice? Health, stress, happiness. All right. Is that worth it? I'm going to tell you, me personally, no. But there are ways to where you could have your money work for you. Again, like stocks and things. I hate to say it, but I wish I did put more money in Tesla stock. I could have put as much money as my boy Paul did and had made, over $1 million on it. And that just been another thing that I had to just, fall back on. So I don't know if that really directly answered your question, but I hope it answered a lot of, because, family does come first, but at the same time with the sacrifice of if you don't provide, then, they don't have a better life. And it's a tough struggle. So I hope you figure that out. I don't know how old you are because, if me and you had a direct conversation, we can kind of, get more specific. Rithita7 writes, my go-to podcast. Hey, Ben, been a fan of you, your story, your hustle for years. I respect your honesty about COVID from the beginning. I'm 24. I live in L.A. I've been following quarantine rules because I live with my parents. 6 months of quarantine. I'm itching to get out to see friends, but I'm with you and I can't risk that 1% of getting my parents sick. What do you think of all the young people in LA going on trips out and with each other? Am I just letting social media get to my head? Sometimes I feel like I'm missing out on my 20s and what my 20s are supposed to be. But then again, quarantine has been good because I've been studying to build a side hustle and investing. What Rithita? Yeah, it's funny you said that because I just talked about that in the 20s, right? People are doing that, supposed to be having fun. Now, 6 months of any age, I think, under the age of 35, it sucks. For me, I'm like, fuck, man, I'm just chilling anyway. This is like real super chill time, even though I've been busy as fuck. I think you feel how you should feel. It does suck. And the ones that are going out on trips, cool, man, whatever. I don't think that you can't not go on a trip. I think you could rock a mask and wear a shield if you're going to be around people, boom. And I think you could still rock a mask and take a road trip somewhere. I don't know about getting on a plane necessarily, even wearing a mask. It's just kind of like, I don't know. But again, man, I'm not here to tell you not to live your life. You should go live your life, especially if you're healthy. But then again, if you come back and your parents are in their 60s or whatever, or they're, I assume they're over 50 and, any of them may be overweight or had diabetes or anything, yeah, it's a fucked up situation, man. I wish I had a better, solution for you. But I think in order for you to let some steam out of your head and kind of, if you have a girl, shit, or if you have a boyfriend, I don't know if you're a boy or girl. Yeah, man, I think that's important. I think getting laid is definitely important. Again, you got to be safe. This is a fucked up situation. You could easily get fucking, COVID through that too. But fuck, man, I don't know. But I do think, a trip to the beach at least, maybe just driving down the coast with the windows down, or maybe go to the beach and figure out how to fucking just stay the fuck away from everybody. I don't know, man. Getting some coffee, or something with somebody and wearing a mask and staying far away, I think you'll be straight, man. You'll be all right. But you're acting the way you should act, and we're just all in a fucked up situation. There's really not much we could do. Jay Wersch, WRSCH, I guess, Jay Wersch, says, day one listener. Hey Ben, big fan of yours since the first episode. I just had a quick question. If I want to invest in gold, what's the best way? Physical bullion, gold ETFs, preferably a method that's relatively liquid. Thanks so much. I'm not really into ETFs or gold stocks and things like that. I've had I didn't realize how until recently, like I'd say up till maybe 2 years ago, I didn't realize how hard it was for people to go get Swiss bars, Pamp bars, gold coins, things like that, bullion. I've always thought it was the best way because it was tangible. It was in my hand. I felt it. Boom. Having a 1,000 1-ounce coins is something that's I've just stacked for so many fucking years. If you can, yeah, getting a bar is fucking amazing. I think when I was selling, I would sell a kilo bar for like fucking 30 grand, and the shit's like way more than that now. It's like, again, it's not like, I guess it's not stocks or anything, but it's like if you have enough kilos and gold and everything, and depending on what you're trying to save for, money is different for everyone. Some people 5G is a lot, some people 20,000, some people 100,000 is a lot. But if you can, I think that's the best way. Now, as far as trying to get it, that's a whole different ball game because gold refineries, as I said before, are running out of gold. They don't have anything. eBay's tricky. There's not something like Coinbase where you could just go buy. Again, Acre Gold is good. I've actually bought coins off of eBay just because I was looking one day and I seen a dude slip up and he had to honor his thing. And I know he didn't want it because the buyer can really, you let negative feedback fuck you up, especially when you have one person say, oh man, this dude didn't honor his word. Some people really don't, update their coins. Now remember, a 1-ounce coin, let's say gold's 1,900. A 1-ounce coin is not going to be $1,900. I always know that. Anything under like, $150 above spot is going to be good. You're paying a premium for the coins. So if you could find, if gold's 1,900 and you find a coin for 2,000 or so, that's a cool ticket right there. Boom. But then again, you're banking, all right, is it going to go down? Is it going to go up? Again, I haven't really, besides the stuff that we have to buy for the store and for my business, I haven't bought coins and bars over $1,600 an ounce for personal. The last time I bought coins, I bought 200 coins, and I bought them at $12.50 an ounce. So I wish I had an easier way. And again, now too, it's not the same thing, man. If you pay cash, you're going to pay more money now, like actual cash. Now, if you write a check, they're good. But people, you can't, that day's over where you're washing cash with the gold. They don't do that no more. So good luck, man. Thank you for listening to the show. BBDDP question, Johnny Jack P. What is Ben's Korean name? Thank you. Have a blessed day, John Park. Ben's Korean name is Chidong. Yang Chidong. And that is my Korean name. K-Town Destroyer. Mui21 writes, K-Town Destroyer, what do you like better, the Senna or the Pista? Oh, it's really not a fair comparison. Pista is nice. I was one of my favorite cars ever. It looks great. It's great, but it's great again for a, $450,000 car. It drives really good. It's fast. Again, I know my car is twin turbo, but I'm not really big on them. But they really figured it out. On a 1 to 10, now that I have this car, I could really give a Senna. I could really give the Pista, like an 8.5 out of a 10. And I give the 720S maybe like a 7.5 maybe. There's very few cars I could think of that I owned that were above the 8.5 mark. The Pista is right there at the 8.5. Now again, I'm sorry, let me take that back. The GT3 RS would be 8.5, 9 easily. It just didn't have enough power. GT2 RS would be an 8.5 because obviously I love the naturally aspirated more than I love the twin turbo. It just didn't, I don't know what, on this one, it just didn't just completely defeat the 3RS. But now the Senna, The Senna's a 10, man. It is literally the greatest car I've ever driven. I've driven, P1 LaFerrari 918. I drove a LaFerrari for like an hour. So, I was on the road and everything. P1, I drove for like 20 minutes. I think I hit a good big spurt for like 125. 918, I drove a little bit. I owned a Carrera GT. I've driven many Bugattis. Again, a Bugatti just feels like a really fast Bentley. I've said that before. The Senna is just, it's really a dream, man. I hit a buck 80 something, and that motherfucker was tits. I hit a buck 55 today in like a semi, like it was not even a big stretch, and I could have easily pushed it more. I hit just like a real small open spot between, if you guys are from California or L.A. or anything, between White Oak and Balboa. In that little stretch, in fact, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, White Oak and Balboa, I'm sorry. Between White Oak and Balboa, I hit like a 145, and I could have easily hit more. I just slowed down fucking around. Just the handling on the Senna is just unfucking believable. The only thing, not even my 675 LT turned like this. The GT3 RS is the only thing that felt this good. The 2RS felt pretty good too. But the Senna is just literally incredible. It is the most fucking insane car. It's just, I'm going to talk about it a little bit more in a second when I get into the outro of the show. But thanks, Mui. Appreciate it. MacDank415 writes, since day one, I'm interested in buying and investing in a few Takeshi Murakami art pieces. Never bought any art before, but I'm really drawn to the investment aspect. Can you recommend some legit galleries, auctions where I may purchase a few pieces? First off, Kai Kiki Gallery is closed, but I do think they still have some pieces. Now, I don't know what you're talking about. Are you talking about prints? Are you talking about lithographs? Are you talking about paintings? Because there's Perrotin, there's obviously Gagosian. Those are all, Gagosian and obviously Perrotin are two. With Perrotin, I think you can buy lithos and maybe some prints. Gagosian is going to be paintings, bigger shit. And if I were you, I would not buy prints. I would try to go for lithographs, and I would try to go for the rare, the lower edition number would be what you want to do, depending on the edition. And a painting, I don't know what kind of bread you have, but if you could buy a painting, shit, man, you kill it. I would avoid anything super popular. Of course, you want something popular. I mean, like popular, like where it's like some print shit, whatever. The BLM thing was definitely, that was a good investment. Just to spend $800 or something, especially went to a good cause and one with a charity. And then the fact that, they're worth like 2 G's and they'll go up. I don't know. JR28, this dude wrote a fucking gang of numbers. Random thought. Did you have any part with Rocky and Tyler's friendship where it is today? I actually had zero part in it. The only thing that is weird is that every time I'm with Rocky, he is either talking to Tyler or he'll call Tyler just to see me and him fight. And he'll just do it so that me and Tyler get into a fucking fight over the phone. And then when Tyler's around, he just can't fucking relax. We just get into a fucking argument on super shit because I sent him a bunch of dick pics and all kinds of crazy shit, and he gets mad about it. And then he tries to tell like everyone in fucking Og or ASAP Mob, like he'll tell him like, yo man, Ben sent me this picture. I'm like, yeah, what the fuck? Yeah, sure. And I'll deny it. And then it just drives them fucking crazy because they don't believe him and they just think he's crazy. But nah, man, they became tight on their own. I don't even know like how it just randomly, again, I'm friends with them totally separately, and they're really boys, genuinely. All right, last question. Michael Farkas writes, fan questions. Hey, Ben, I just wanted to thank your producers for choosing my questions and even answering them. I always had things I wanted to ask, and there's no better opportunity to go to than Behind the Baller. I'm a junior in college, and for one of my courses, our teacher wants us to conduct an interview with someone regarding what does it mean to live the good life. I've listened to your show since the first episode, and just hearing your stories from childhood to now, I can't think of anyone more interesting and qualified to ask that question. You have a beautiful family and have worked hard to get where you are. Your overnight success was years in the making. I appreciate your sharing your wisdom with the world and trying to give some positivity in these chaotic times. If you'd be interested, I really appreciate it. Yeah, man. If you want to just do it through email, that'd be easiest. I think you could hit up, obviously, behindtheballer@gmail.com, or is it behindtheballerpod? Fuck, man. I think it's behindtheballerpod@gmail.com. I'm sorry, man. I don't run the email account. But yeah, man, I appreciate it. You could definitely do that. And I don't even know what the fuck does that mean to live the good life. You know what? I'll answer it as best as I can, honestly, because I just, it's such a broad question. But yo, that is it for fan questions. I appreciate it. We're going to get into this outro. And Miles, hit me with some of that LL, please. Yo, we are back, and we're about to close this show out. Before we get into any sports, entertainment, any kind of talk like that, I just got to give a shout out to my boy John Monopoly. Anybody who was a big fan of hip-hop, or I should say if you're a big fan of Kanye West, you should obviously know who John Monopoly is. He is Kanye's manager, and up till he finally got his first Grammy, and even after that, I think John is running with him now. John is a good dude. I just want to say what's up to John because I'm going to have him on the show. I want to interview John for the pod for a while now, and I just haven't had time. But now that we can do this remotely over the phone, I'm going to hit John up and get him on the show. We had talked this weekend about some other shit, but John is a solid dude. Let's get into some motherfucking sports. Yo, Dodgers are kicking ass. I don't want to hear shit. We are tapping that motherfucking ass. So that's the end of the story there. Boom. Appreciate that motherfucking Kobe tribute with the jerseys and fucking, man, Belly hitting that homer and just winning, getting the W. Just, man, yo, obviously talking to my boy Jock. Man, bro, I need to see more fucking action out of you, Jock, baby. And done with the Dodgers, man. Look, the Seattle Seahawks, yo, we are looking good. And there's not much NFL talk until I figure out what's going to happen in the next 48 hours. Jadeveon Clowney said he is going to figure out and make a decision. Motherfucker, what the fuck is you doing, bro? Like, come on, bro. You have a better chance going to Super Bowl with us than anybody else that's interested. That is a fucking fact. That is a legitimate fact. You can legitimately help us, and we can help you get to the Super Bowl. And with that said, Earl Thomas, bro, you OG LOB, you talented as a motherfucker. If you didn't flip off fucking, Pete Carroll, I think you'd have a place back in, but I think that you wouldn't start in our new defensive backfield. But, bro, there's chicks that complain about dudes all the time, and they'll say shit, and they'll be like, man, fuck this dude, boom. And, you'll see a girl who dated 5 guys, and they'll be like, yo, man ain't shit, and this guy, if you were in a somewhat serious relationship with, these different people, and you're like, this guy, oh, this person's a problem, this person's a problem, you got to seriously look at maybe yourself and see, where the problem really, really lies. And Earl, bro, I get it, man. You had a little spat with your teammate and everything else, and also posting the fucking video of the practice. That wasn't really smart and whatever else. But I don't know, man. I don't wish hate on anybody or a bad situation, but it's just fucking unfortunate, man. It's just a fucking weird ass fucking thing for Earl Thomas, man. But yeah, Jadeveon, bro, sign with the motherfucking Seahawks or just get the fuck out of here, man. This is some bullshit. Football's done. Basketball, believe it or not, before we even get into the motherfucking Lakers talk, man, yo, I told you guys on Twitter and Instagram 2 years ago that Paul George is a motherfucking bust in the playoffs, right? When he was at OKC, bust. My father-in-law is a huge OKC fan, all right? He followed them after the Sonics. A lot of people were like 50-50. Some people are like, fuck the OKC, and then other people are like, fuck it, we're going to rock with OKC because that's where the Sonics are. And my father-in-law, obviously being huge, all Seattle sports fans, he's listening to this right now thinking like, fuck, man. But Paul George, I knew he was a bust. When he was supposed to come to the Lakers, he'd play all that bullshit like, oh, man, he's a fucking Laker fan all my life, blah, blah, whatever. Bro, you know what, dog? You from Palmdale, homie. I don't want to hear shit from you, dog. You from the 661, homie. You're not from L.A. You are not 323-213-310. But anyways, you a bust. And, I think the Clippers, man, it'd be fucking amazing if they don't fucking make it out of this first round. Be fucking hilarious, man. Lou Will, everyone, man, they just on some, I don't know what the fuck it is. Kawhi, everybody, man, I don't know, man. And fuck the Clippers anyway. Next up, man, real quick. Luka Doncic is a motherfucker. Luka is a, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. One of my employees, Pat, at IF&Co, he's from Dallas. He's a big everything Dallas fan. Well, I mean, he's a big Cowboys fan. He's a big Mavericks fan. He's been talking about Luka since his rookie year. I always say, okay, no, Luka's dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, he ain't fucking Porzingis. You know what I'm saying? Like they're gonna be beasts together, but he ain't Porzingis. And I'm like thinking like, okay, Porzingis is a bad motherfucker, but Luka is a whole different fucking animal. And you know what? I never really gave Seth his propers. I got to give Seth his flowers, man. They busted some ass, man. But Luka is a fucking beast, man. He really showed yesterday that Mamba mentality, that ice vein shit and everything, man. Yo, to see pandemic PG 13% trend. Do you know that's A class? That's world class humor. That's A1 humor. PG 13%. Yo, man, just that shit is fucking crazy. So now to talk about the Lakers, man. I knew that they were going to come back in game 2 and smack that motherfucking ass. I knew they had to, and they routed them. It was a straight wash. They just washed the motherfuckers. And, you know, like, be honest with you, like, it wasn't like LeBron crushed it that game, whatever, but they washed them. Saturday, they played, and they were starting to piss me off. And then, you know, fourth quarter. And let me tell you something. We got that W playing like shit. All right. And be like, oh, well, Dame, listen, man. Dame didn't play good because our defense was on it. All right. This motherfucker Caruso was playing D. Yo, even fucking Danny Green was playing D. I don't want to hear no shit about him having headaches and all that bullshit. But we put the smack down. I do, and I always thought, I said, man, I think Portland's going to be tough. It's going to be a nightmare. But at the same time, they're tough. Dame time, and be like, okay, great, he's going to show up in game 4. You know what, bro? Who cares? I don't think, if there's good defense, how do you show up? And now the thing is, that's what makes you a great player, is when it doesn't matter if you have fucking 3 hands in front of you, you bust an ass. He was missing open shots and everything else from the fucking NBA logo. No, bro. No. So we'll see what the fuck happens. I think Lakers got this round. I ain't tripping on this round. Tell you the truth, man, it's just a weird fucking thing. We'll see. So weird. It's just weird. I don't really care about the East so much. I've been paying attention. I know Boston's whooping that ass, but like, it's just weird. I don't like how Toronto's winning like this too. It's just fuck that shit's, and I'm low key being a hater, but I don't know. I don't think this year, that whole shit last year with the fucking with the Warriors is just fucking, I don't know, man. It's just fucking weird. I don't think that they're gonna fucking come out. I don't think the Warriors are gonna do shit for a while. That's just me personally. Really don't. Next year, they ain't doing shit. The year after, I don't know. The lottery situation, I can't believe the Knicks got so fucking screwed. I want the Knicks to be good. And I'm not a Knicks fan, but I just want New York to have a fucking good fucking basketball team. I feel so bad for their fucking fandom. It just fucking sucks. I feel bad for fucking Mike Rapport and fucking Jordan Winters. Like, I just feel bad, man. The fucking Knicks should have a good team. Anyways, man, yeah, Lakers are going to do their fucking thing, and I just can't fucking wait. My boy Vegas Dave has broken every single world record when it comes to baseball cards now. He sold his Mike Trout fucking Superfractor card for $3.9 million. It was a little more than I said it was. It was 3.9 on my Instagram. 3.9. This motherfucker sold a piece of cardboard for $4 million. And he paid $400,000 for it. So he made $3.5 million in profit. Dave, I'm not mad at you. Straight up. All right. And I know people have a lot of negative shit to say about my boy Dave. And it's not about that, he never did nothing wrong with me. Look, unless y'all come with some stories that he fucked your mom in the ass or he punched your sister in the mouth or something like that, whatever, boom. Look, dude sells picks. He's not forcing anybody. Motherfuckers want to win some money, boom, here and there. I got personal friends who listen to the show and they tell me straight up, man, I've picked, some of Dave's picks and they've been good. And, it's like, just it is what it is. It is what it is. And with that said, now that we're talking about the hobby, look, man, I appreciate it. We just had the Cal Ripken, autograph sale on my bbdtc.com. The release on Friday, the 1 of 50 sold out in about 3 or 4 minutes. I had to relist one because by accident I had 49 for sale, not 50. And then the friends and family sold out in 1 minute, which is crazy. I'm not going to really sell friends and families here and there, but there's sometimes I have one for sale. And one of my buddies wanted to buy one. It's password protected anyway. You have to email benbaldidthecard@gmail.com in order to get a password to buy a friends and family, because they're generally between $2,000 and $3,000. And my 1 of 10 Cal Ripken, it took like 23 minutes to sell out. Now to me, that's a long time. And I'm not saying this because the market's going whatever, and I get it soft. My Tony Gwynn sold 7,200 cards. Print was like 7240 something, whatever, or 7220. I forgot what the fuck it was. But that doesn't mean anything when, the average print runs are, below 3,000. I'm still going to always do my thing. And now, with that said, if you bought a Tony Gwynn card from Topps.com, if you bought 10, you bought 5, you bought 60, you bought 1, next week, or actually, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, next week, I'm sorry. I'm thinking this week is I'm gone on vacation. Next week, I am going to ask you guys to go on Twitter or go on Instagram stories and send me a picture of your purchase email, and it'll show, boom, right there, you bought Tony Gwynn. I will see, I can cross-reference it with Topps to make sure you did, boom, and I'm going to do a raffle. It's honestly, to tell you the truth, no matter how many people follow me and how many people bought cards and whatever, there's going to be a ton of competition. So I'm going to give away a gold Cuban chain. I will let you choose between white gold or yellow gold. It'll be 14 karat. It's going to be a cool little Cuban, It's not going to be anything fucking, it's not going to be no $10,000 chain, but it's going to be a cool ass necklace that I have people that buy those all day long on the website. And it's a free fucking chain. I hope you wear it. And I'm going to be giving that away. And all you got to do is just show me a purchase from Tony Gwynn. It's not going to work for eBay and anything else. It's going to be, has to be a Topps.com purchase, number one. Number two, I will be giving away a gold chain for every single card until the rest of these cards are done. All right. And with that said, I think I have Bob Gibson next. There's a little bit of a weird thing with my scheduling right now because I had to change some things out because of where the market is with the cards and Project 2020 overall. But let me go back real quick. Thank you very much to everyone who bought an autograph. That I'm very, very grateful for you guys buying autographs, cards. It means a lot. It is meant to go to collectors. Yes, for a point in time, it was definitely a hustle, and you get some paper off it. And of course, you could flip one of 50s because the price is low and everything else. But for the most part, this is a long term. This is something where these are being graded, these are being authenticated by Beckett, by BGS. This is respected in certain things. So I want you guys to understand too. If you're looking just to make money and anything else, man, I can't tell you that everything is guaranteed because you obviously see where things are weird. Now, again, Vegas Dave bought a $400,000 card and he thought that Mike Trout was going to be, he thinks he's the greatest player in the major leagues. And yeah, Mike is. He's one of the best players ever to play baseball. And, who could have ever thought that those cards would be going for that much money? Now, with that said, I do see a change coming sometime because, Golden Auctions, who sold his first card for $900,000 and then this card for almost $4 million, they reached out to me and they're like, hey man, I know you got some, the 101 Mike Trout, and you got some other ones, APs, things like that. We should sell them because I know we have a huge market that would buy that stuff. So, that's what's going to happen. And especially with my autograph, they're saying it's obviously worth more because of what I'm doing with this project. So I'm going to be doing giveaways. Obviously, the hot players. Mike Trout's the only one that's current in the Project 2020. And I just want you to know, with every card that I do now, I'm going to give away a chain, like I said, right? But what I want you to understand is you don't have to wait 6 weeks, 8 weeks for the cards to get to you. I'm going to do the chain giveaway within the first week, 2 weeks. The only reason why I'm doing it next week is because I'm out of town this week. So I'm going to give away the chains, and it just gives you more incentive. It makes it more fun. You put a $20 investment, now boom, look, you have a one in a couple $1,000 chance to win a fucking chain. How could you, how bad are those odds? It's better than a lottery, way better than a lottery, way better than scratch it or scratch off, whatever the fuck it's called. And with that said, with my final card, which will be Ken Griffey Jr., I'm going to make a sick iced out Seattle Mariners logo. It's going to be the Seattle Mariners S, the logo that, that they were rocking when Griffey was playing. And it's going to be fucking sick as a motherfucker. I haven't figured out if I'm doing white gold or yellow gold, but it should be white gold because that's what the logo is on the hat and on the uniform. So I'm going to be doing that. That's going to be going off to auction. Not auction, I'm sorry, as a raffle. I don't think I'm going to have that handled by Topps, like how I did this Jeter chain, because I rather pick them out and it just gets faster. It's in real time. It makes things, better. And for every card you buy, you'll have a better chance. So it's better incentive than just, doing it like on the Topps website for the Derek Jeter. Speaking of Jeter, that's shipping next. And with the Jeter card, obviously his autos or my autos are going to be worth more. They're going to be going for more money because Jeter will be the most expensive out of the set because of the popularity of Derek Jeter and the rarity and everything else. And boom. But as well as Mike Trout did, and as well as Griffey, those would be my top three. Obviously, that's the triangle right there. The Derek Jeter card should be shipping soon. Like I'm talking about in the next couple of weeks, they're catching up. And after that, again, that bottleneck, that clog will be gone and cards will be coming faster and this project will be moving a lot better. So I want you guys to know that. Now, as for this week, there will be a special release either this Friday, or next Monday. I know I don't do releases on Monday, but I'm aiming for this Friday. I'm going to drop my Blake Jameson, Mike Trout collab card autograph. It is the first collab in Topps Project 2020, and it is going to be a dual auto. I signed the card, he signed the card. It's just about timing now. And on top of that, I'm going to be selling a couple 101s. Like I mentioned before, I sold some toys. I'm going to be selling random shit here and there, doing giveaways, all this stuff. I'm going to be doing some giveaways on this show here. Not this episode, but I believe the next episode I'm going to be giving away autograph card and shit like that. But I just needed to take some time off and just fucking, this week is before the kids go to school, I really needed to fucking get this shit cracking. All right. And that is it for the hobby. Sorry to disappoint you guys. As far as entertainment, I saw the new trailer for Batman. And I'm not a big Robert Pattinson fan, but it looks fucking good. I'm not gonna lie to you. That shit looks motherfucking good. So the reason why I'm apologizing is because Chrissy Teigen, who's kind of an acquaintance of mine, she's talking about selling Sunset. My wife would watch every fucking season of this show, and I've watched now 2 seasons of this show, and I'm not gonna lie to you. This is trash television. Addicting trash television. This is like the modern day Hills. I've never watched The Hills, but I remember watching 30 seconds of one episode early on, and then, or was it Laguna? I forgot what the fuck it was called. And then The Hills came out. I was like, oh shit, this is like current, like MySpace, blah, blah, whatever. And I was like, okay, boom, I get it. And again, I'm not hating because I have friends who are on the show. Selling Sunset is 100% fucking LA, not necessarily total douchebag. I don't know what the fuck you would call a female douchebag, but think of a female douchebag, and this is just like, it is so fucking LA, and it's just fucking crazy. But it's like not train wrecks, but it's like, it's just girly, catty, whatever, boom. But it's interesting because I see, I look at the real estate game heavy in LA, mostly in San Francisco. But I watch it, and it's like these girls, you got these dudes, Oppenheim brothers, they're twin brothers. They're like 5'4", 5'5", and all these girls like 5'8", 5'11", blonde, fake titties, whatever. And the funniest thing about this show is all these girls that work on this, that work for this company and work on the show, not one of them is an LA native. They're all from out of fucking state and everything else, and they talk all that shit. Like, and it's so fucking funny. Like, bitch, you ain't from here. Like, that shit cracks me the fuck up. And there was a scene where I got fucking a little offended. They talked about like one of the neighborhoods I lived in, and they basically run all that Sunset Strip property, Sunset Plaza, Doheny, by the Bird Streets, even maybe like a little bit of Mount Olympus. And if you guys know LA, like the Hollywood Hills, they run that area, right? Which is cool. You know what? And they base it on like, all right, well, we don't really sell to families and blah, blah. We're selling to bachelors and rich people, successful, this one. At the end of the day though, man, because I know I'm partial because I'm a dad and I'm a father, I'm a parent, I'm a husband, and I'm a family man. It's like, you should always, even in the Hollywood Hills, like you should always try to, and again, not everyone is fucking single. Not everyone has kids. I get it. But it's just the way that they market the show. It's good though. They have a hit show, and they're talking shit about Los Feliz. That was my issue. And I was like, come on, man. That was like the last straw with it. And they're just like, oh, well, this is not really my area. We're like, WeHo. Like, let me put you up on game. Los Feliz is way, fucking cooler than fucking West Hollywood. Just off top, straight up. Now, again, when I first started working in Hollywood at Denzel's restaurant, one of the owners and the manager of the nightclub bar, it's the bar restaurant, his name is John Long. And he lived in Venice Beach. And it was weird. He had a place kind of like by the canal, and like he wasn't far from the beach. And I was like, damn, why the fuck you live out here? He goes, bro, look, man, and this is in 95. And he was like, you don't want to wake up one day and wake up and be in Hollywood. You'll be fucking depressed. I never understood that. And I was broke as fuck at the time. And it just hit me when it comes later in life. You're like, all right, well, where do you live then? Because you start to realize, like, you don't want to fucking live like, damn, man, it's hard to say this without fucking up my friends' addresses and saying where people live. But like, even like, look, I'm not saying to move to Calabasas, because if it came between Hollywood Hills and Calabasas, I'm going to choose fucking Hollywood Hills 50 times over Calabasas. I don't give a fuck about the yard or any of that shit. I don't give a fuck what it is. I would never fucking live there. But there are a lot of cool neighborhoods you could live in. Obviously, Beverly Hills and Bel Air is one of them. But Los Feliz is a fucking great neighborhood. It is excellent. It's close to Glendale. It's close to, obviously, Silver Lake, and a lot of cool foodie shit goes on in Silver Lake and Atwater and all those areas. Los Feliz is such a fucking dope-ass area to live in. Fucking Angelina Jolie has a $26 million house, and Brad Pitt has a house there. Fucking Leo lived there. A lot of cool fucking people live in Los Feliz. Los Feliz is the shit. That's where a ton of Frank Lloyd Wright houses are. Fucking some of the best architecture and postmodern mid-century homes are there. And it's just, that's probably one of my favorite places in all of LA to live in, period. But going on, they were talking shit about this. And like one girl, she moves to OC, and they all live, they're just all fucking ditzy and whatever. And it's just, that's what bothered me when they were talking about that. Now, one thing about the show, even though it is super LA, especially if you're going out of nightlife and how nightlife is now for the clubs and Warwick and all that shit and everything, and it's just like, that's not my scene. Again, I'm old and washed up, so you can listen to this take it with a grain of salt. But, there's this girl on the show named Mary, and she's like 38 years old, and she's dating a dude who's 25, and she has a 21-year-old son. And it's like, they're arguing about certain shit, and it's like, look, man, I was like, let me talk about this on the show. I get it. You want to have a cougar or whatever, boom, here and there. But if you're talking about real life situations, it's always going to be a problem if a girl is older than a guy. No matter how fucking mature a dude is, period. Just the way of the world. Look, man, women are further more mature than men in general. They're further more advanced in relationships and things like that. You could fucking date a fucking virgin, who's 18 years old, and she's going to figure it out and just know how to deal with certain things better off instinct, all right? Girls in general should only date guys that are at least 6, 7 years older than them. 10 years doesn't fucking matter. Obviously, I'm 11 years older than Nicolette, right? But girls should not date men their age or a little older. Definitely don't fucking date guys younger than them. They have nothing to fucking talk about. Now, this dude is a model, blah, blah, whatever. He seems like he's cool and whatever, and I don't want to judge it. But, again, you fall into that problem where you got a girl whose biological time, clock is ticking. And, after 34, a woman is considered high risk. And now you're going to make, your baby could go through issues with Down syndrome and autism and all kinds of other things. And this is facts. You're going to freeze your eggs. 34 is young, right? I feel like, damn. But like at 38, 37, you're really falling under risk. Do you want to have more kids? What do you want to do? Do you want to start a family? You got to figure all that shit out. And it's a lot harder for girls. So now me, even though having my first kid at 39 and having another kid at 44 wasn't my ideal situation. It's the cards that were dealt. And I made a motherfucking, a straight flush come out of that, as I should. I don't wait for the motherfucking river and the fucking flop and all that. I was like, fuck this. I'm going all the way out. I'm going all in, and we're going to make the situation platinum. So going on, I never dated a girl my age. Now, did I fuck a chick or did we have sex? Yes. Did I date all the women here and there? Boom. Yes. It was nothing serious. But I see dudes, young studs, six packs, do this or whatever, good looking dudes can fuck all day long, whatever, they're 18, 19-year-olds, whatever. And it's like, when I was like in my late 30s, before I met Nicolette, I was like, I would think like, wait a second, I'll run circles around these fucking young dudes. And it's the truth. Sometimes you wonder, like, you'll see a chick who's super hot and she was the older dude. Yes, there's security and everything else. But at the same time, you'll see a chick fuck with a dude who has a beer belly or a dad bod and, cheat on her boyfriend who has a six pack and everything else and is cool, is hip, whatever. It's just a different thing with age and experience and just knowing how to talk to a woman, knowing how to treat a woman and things like that. Man, of course, I'm married, so it's different, but I'm talking about when I see these dudes now, just some of these guys who are not take a shower, they don't smell, don't care about, I know I talk about like just dressing a certain way. I'm not trying to catch anybody. I have a different way of, looking successful. Because when you pull up in a $1.2 million car and, when you own a fucking $5 million house and when you have other things and when you have a fucking, $250,000 watch on your wrist and certain things, you didn't get those. Look at, man, again, there's no payment plans on some of the things that I have. It's like, it's just not, that's not how, people live. But that's like a whole other thing. When you see somebody married, getting married is not cheap. All right, having kids ain't cheap. Yes, there's people who do it from every single different financial background, right? And different classes and all that stuff and everything. But in general, a woman is seeking someone who can teach them something, who has more knowledge and shit like that. So, it's just, I just always laugh, man, when I see young dudes like, oh man, this motherfucker's 30, he's old, or 35, he's old, boom. But look, man, you're going to start to realize that in general, it may not go for everyone, but older people have wisdom. They didn't get old by being stupid. Yes, I've taken a lot of risks in my life, but I have a lot of great stories to tell after that. And obviously I have some great experiences, and I also have a ton of accolades from all the experiences. But anyways, the show Selling Sunset is trash TV. It's very addicting. And fuck you, Chrissy Teigen, for fucking having me watch that bullshit ass show. Real quick, man. Yesterday, I hit Malibu Cars and Coffee. I have not been there in 5 fucking years. Or I'm trying to think the last time I really actually hit Cars and Coffee at the Country Mart. It's been a long fucking time. It might have been maybe 3 years, 4 years. But anyways, I took the Senna to Malibu. Fucking smashed. The only thing that sucks is getting the 100 octane gas. So I figured I'm gonna buy some gas cans. VP Racing makes 5-gallon cans. Probably gonna buy 3 5-gallon cans, and so I have 15 gallons on deck all the time. Take the Trackhawk over there and fill them up. So I gotta make that fucking 25-minute drive to the gas stations. And anyways, hit the 100 octane. Met up with the homie. And then I met up with another homie, Alejandro, aka Salamandrin, who's been on the show, very big car YouTuber. We smashed over to Malibu and shut it down. The Senna was it shut it down. There was a 918 there, there was a Ford GT there, and there was even another Senna there that dude bought after me, and I seen it at the dealer. And his old man, everyone flocked to the Black Mamba, the K-Town Destroyer 8. They went out there on motherfucking Mamba's birthday. And it was dope. It felt great. Hung out, chilled, got some coffee, kicked it. Everyone was social distancing. And, when it was time to leave, I shook out, jumped into Malibu Canyon, and just enjoyed the drive. It's so tight. It just handles so fucking amazing. And then as I was driving, through Malibu Canyon, you'll usually see like some motorcycles, you see some exotics. I saw like 2 different convoys of like crazy exotic cars. One of them ended up being my boy, Gintani, who... I'm thinking about having him build some cat deletes, some cat bypass pipes for the Senna to add a little bit of sound to it. But yo, man, I was rolling and motherfuckers just look at the car different. And like I said, I jumped on the 101 before I, head back to the crib, and I smashed down the 101, hit this pocket. It was like, whoosh, man, like it was 145, 150 don't feel like nothing. It really feels safe. But now with one of my boys getting an accident, just me thinking about Kobe and shit and everything else, I was being paranoid. I was like, yo, man, they always say race car drivers in F1 who have kids or NASCAR, they lose like a second or 2 off their track time because, they're thinking about their kids, right? And they drive different, so I don't know, man. Anyways, look, man, I want to get out of here. And that is a fucking long episode. Weekend wrap up. You guys deserve it. And like I said, I'm out of town. I'm going to be recording live and direct from San Diego, California this week. And I just wanted to say something real quick. If I don't know who you are, like you're somebody popular on whether YouTube, you got 5 million followers, 800,000 followers, 2 million followers. If I don't know who you are, if I don't know what your brand is, that doesn't mean very much these days, especially. Okay, I'm washed up. I'm really self-obsessed with what's going on with me and my circle and everything. If I don't know you, don't be offended. That does not mean much. And that's because I met some people at the Cars and Coffee, had no idea who the fuck they were. Look, man, people don't know who the fuck I am. Again, don't be offended. But what you need to do is realize that this is not your practice life. That is episode 109. I appreciate all you guys listening. Please tell somebody to subscribe to Behind the Parlor podcast. Yo, big shout out to the Dust Brothers. They be putting in that motherfucking work. If you got a podcast and you want it to be done right, for real, hit up DBP. All right, y'all. We are out of here. I love you guys. Yo, Lakey Lake, a.k.a. at Lakey Inspired. You already know, bro. Take us home, homie. All right, peace.